Biden versus Trump, who will win? This is my take on the upcoming elections. I have watched his campaigns as well as Trump's and find a major contrast between the two. Biden. Biden's message has been one of doom and gloom. He has spoken of death, locking down the country, increasing taxes, pushing government and socialized healthcare programs, and contradicting himself on banning fracking and the closing of the oil industry during his Democratic nomination debates. Yet claims in the presidential debates that he won't, then closes his final debate saying he will. Then he blames Trump for the COVID deaths, where the rest of the world has experienced deaths, doing exactly the same thing that Trump has done. We have to remember that in the US, each state has a governor, and the governor decides on what is right for his state, and only uses the president when they want to. So each state is responsible for their successes and failures. Yet Biden has pushed the blame on the president, who has his hands tied based on the Constitution and how the laws work in the US. Biden has pushed this message onto the Hispanic population, yet most would come from Cuba and Venezuela, etc., which have come from socialist or communist countries and came to America to escape it. Now Biden and Kamala are pushing for more government controls and more socialized systems like healthcare. Can the Hispanic people see the writing on the wall? Biden is looking to raise taxes. He also wants to provide free healthcare. But we all have to know that there is nothing for free in this world. Everything has a cost. And throughout the ages, it's always the low-income earners that pay, the very voters that Biden is appealing to. It's highly improbable that anyone wants to pay more taxes. And if businesses have to pay more taxes, they will lay off more workers. That's common sense. The unemployment will increase. Trump was never groomed to be a politician, so he's known as a shrewd, bombastic businessman and has served him through his business career. So we cannot expect political language or gesturing. He was voted by the American people, knowing what he was prior. Trump could be living life on the beach or on one of his golf courses, yet chooses to do this job, take reputational beatings every day, including for his family, and does it for free, donating his salary every month to worthy causes. Does he really hate or does he love his country? Everything he said he was going to do, he has done, which is different to all politicians. Just to name a few: build the wall, renegotiate NAFTA, which even Obama said he would need a magic wand. Yet every president has spoken of doing this during their campaigns and presidencies and failed. He took down ISIS and no more wars. He signed peace deals in the Middle East, which again every president has failed to do. He reduced taxes, met and negotiated with North Korea, which no president has ever done before. He went through an impeachment regarding Ukraine and Russia, and no evidence was found to convict him other than hearsay. Now we find out that Hunter Biden and Joe are being investigated for their dealings with Ukraine, Russia, and China. Overall, Trump's message has not been doom and gloom. It has been of hope, belief, restoration of growth, and a great America once more for all. If Biden and Obama were so great after winning by 80% in their second term, with Hillary to continue their agenda and program, why is it that a non-politician, bombastic, shrewd, bad person won the elections in 2016? Sounds to me like the people were sick and tired of the status quo. I cannot see how a rational person who understands that nothing is for free, and the options are to vote for a person who has delivered against all odds and personal attacks, versus a person who for 8 years as vice president is asking the country who voted against him, Obama and Hillary, to re-vote him in after 47 years in politics with a record that is tarnished and contradictory to everything Biden says he stands for. Logic tells me that if I have lower taxes, more money at the end of every paycheck, opportunities that will come from bringing manufacturing and employment back because of the new trade deals and tax laws, putting America first, choosing to help its own citizens first before taking on outsiders, who should be looked after by their own governments, and facing a pandemic crisis whilst taking abuse from the Democrats and mainstream media, no matter what he says. At the end of the day, people will vote for a president that executes on promises, that puts his country first and its citizens first, and that reduces the tax burden, and that wants a media to report neutrally on all aspects based on facts. The American people know that to restore the greatness of their country will require pain, as the previous regime of politically motivated agendas will need to be torn down, and a second term will be given to Trump in a landslide for a rebirth to America first and restoration of manufacturing, restore themselves as innovation leaders and the number one opportunity country in the world that all immigrants look to and chose for a better life.